This is the Dazai channeling and a reading for the 6th of March. Let's go ahead and begin here with channeled messages. This is causing a ruckus. PR. Superior Court. And sus. Bribe. Social Security number crime. Prior record used illegally. And it was the play all along. Big wigs. Yes, sir. We have sugar and wink wink. Judge came out. CCRP came out, which is Child Custody Recommending Report. Child Custody Recommending Counselors Report. Reality kicking in. And Jerks came out. Cleanup crew. Trying to wrap it up. And I had a vision of suckers. I'll take your wrappers. A channeled message. Some names came out that we haven't heard before. Russell. Keys came out. I'm getting a couple different meanings with this, but I'm getting the last name. Kiwi came out. And Aussie is what I'm getting. Rick. Jess or Jessie. Check your circle and put your circle in check. And Wicked Witch of the West. Okay, let's go ahead and we'll draw a couple of tarot cards and then a couple of oracle today. This one's kind of popping its head. Let's see what it says. It's the Eight of Cups, the Weaver. The Dream Weaver is what I'm hearing. We haven't seen this one before. It's holding something in its beak. Piece of thread, perhaps. I'm getting someone has freed themselves. They've untied themselves. And they're walking away. Four of Cups here. Leaving a party of four. But there is 4 cups. Which is, well, it is apathy, but it's a process. They're in a process. On the back we have the Devil upright, which we haven't seen before either, the Black Bird. And it's all about the money. That's what the Devil's all about. Attachment to physical desires. Attachment in general. It's fear. The Devil is a scaredy cat. In all reality, the Devil is a scaredy cat. That's why they hold on so tightly. A weak one too, because they haven't the strength to face what they've done, to own up to it, to take accountability, responsibility, to face God. Let's go ahead and read that one. Major Arcana Numerical Oracle 15. And I turned right to the Hierophant. We do have shadow government involved. The karma is very severe for someone who holds an office of law and abuses it. And as above, so below. Upright, the Devil. The individual suffers toxic attachments and habits and self-imposes ponderous restrictions. They have unhealthy approaches to sexuality. We have sex offending energy here. That's very important to pay attention to. And the attention has been directed in the entirely wrong direction on purpose. So there is even children involved here. And not mine. They were protected by me. But there were children that were abused here because the law officials were directed via false reports to look in the wrong direction. It's a really terrible thing that has occurred. This card of the Jungian shadow self calls attention to these negativities, bringing them to the surface for disposal. And then in depth, associated with obsessions, negative and self-sabotaging behaviors, self-doubt, a harbinger of toxic relationships and ill health. Yes, we have energies here involved that have HIV, incurable STDs. The devil appears when the hero confronts their darker selves, when the hero begins to recognize the divine aspects of themselves in the card of Temperance. They will be equipped with a sense of their actual self-worth and a more accurate view of their abilities, recognizing skills that were not immediately obvious to them. The hero will use these strengths to face the hardships presented by the devil card. The card of the devil activates our ability to walk away from what appears to be an impossible threat and to minimize victim mentality. The knowledge to defeat the devil is already present and it's immediate. Ultimately, we can act as our greatest champions or worst adversaries. It's only ourselves that limits us. The devil can use our intellect as a means for filling our ego, fogging our better judgment, so we thwart ourselves either consciously or unconsciously. The devil is at their strongest when individuals self-sabotage, not only hurting the principle, but hurting those around them. The devil does not refer to the person in question. It might be that someone associated with them is doing them more harm than good. Check your circle. Put your circle in check. If so, the querent must completely avoid this toxic person. If the person is unavoidable, it is strongly advised that the querent keep their exposure to a minimum. And what does one do if the law gets involved and thwarts this self-protection by an individual, which is what has occurred in my situation personally? When we assert ourselves against the devil, we become responsible for our choices and are liberated from our illusions. This card can also indicate a warped position or mindset concerning sexuality or sexual energy. I do want to add, if someone goes to a certain length to fill out the paperwork and file a restraining order, they should at least be heard. Especially if there's young children involved. The one bird that symbolizes the literal figure of Satan is the blackbird. And that designation originates from the Roman Catholic story of Saint Benedict. He was alone one day when a blackbird suddenly flew in front of his face, acting as a tempter. The bird was so close to his face that he could grab it. Instead, Benedict formed a cross with his fingers and the bird flew away. Alone in the forest after his confrontation with the blackbird, the image of a woman he once knew flashed before his eyes. Overcome with what he deemed as sinful desire, he interpreted the image as an implement of the devil. He asked God to remove these unholy thoughts and replace them with peace. Before he left the forest, he found a bush of thorns and saw it as an opportunity to cleanse himself of his sins. Without a second thought, he jumped in. Benedict bled profusely and was scratched to the point that his skin was torn open. He said this burning pain was enough to dispel the fires of evil that poisoned his veins with temptation, expelling the tainted blood and purifying himself in the process. Just as Benedict rid himself of the devil, the hero must rid themselves of the negative attributes that are holding them back from reaching their goals. I do have a story I'll share another time in regards to thorns. But we'll go ahead and close with it there since that was kind of long. We'll hold on to the oracles for another time. And namaste.